With the coming age of BR games, the shooting genre shows no sign of slowing down as it continues to pump out amazing and creative games for the world to enjoy. I sound like a fucking news anchor. Either that or I sound like a fucking commercial guy. And a few of those games hasn't even thought about slowing down. Fortnite, PUBG, and Warzone, and of course, Apex Legends, who celebrated their 3rd year anniversary just a few weeks ago. I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if it was a 3rd year anniversary. But let me take the time to reflect. So, with the recent announcement, not really recent, of Jason McCord, which was the design director and, slash lead designer of the game, and Chad Grenier, who was the game director of Apex, anything can happen to this game. Elements that we've never seen before could make it in. Please, no fucking Titans. Weapons that haven't been thought of could be brought in. But what I would personally like to see is some consideration for the community-inspired characters making it into the game. Give us defense and support, Legends. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Master Protagonist, aka HW Bear, and today we are going to be listing down the top 10 fan-made characters that I personally would like to see in Apex Legends. We are not going in any list from most wanted to least wanted. This is just going to be something that I personally want to see happen in Apex. I want to see the developers being more intertwined with the community, getting more ideas from them, whether it comes from skins, game mode ideas, and especially characters. If there is a fan-made character that you want to see in Apex or anything else fan-related, leave it down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do not hesitate to hit that like button. I appreciate you a lot if you do so. Leave a comment below what's your favorite part of the video. Share this with a friend if you think that might enjoy it. Hit that bell icon and stay notified about everything that I post on the channel. And as always, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you a lot, my boy. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Also, I would like to give you guys a heads up that if you want to check out any of these characters, they are either going to be pulled from multiple sources, either on the internet or from my Twitter. I made fan-made characters with the hashtag known as Apex Character Concepts, where I made my own type of characters in my own vision. So if you want to check that out, please follow my Twitter. I appreciate you a lot if you do so. I'll probably leave it in the description or somewhere on the screen for you guys to just look it up on Twitter. And as for everything else in the pictures, they're everywhere on the internet. So all you gotta do is look up fan-made Apex Legend or fan-made Legend Apex character. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's actually get into the video. Let's start off with number 10, ladies and gentlemen. Nomad, aka Scunner. I'm calling him Nomad because he sounds better. Also, this version is from someone entirely different who decided to name the original League Legend, yes, this is a League Legend, Scunner, and I'm going to be changing it to Nomad. Nomad was originally Revenant, but that whole debacle, that's been changed up. So, let me tell you guys something. This is a debate that I'm going to be having for a long ass time. I don't care how long, I'm just going to let you guys know that this character would be amazing in this game. Just because we already have someone like Loba who can gather loot doesn't mean that a character like Nomad, whose passive allows you to have 2 more backpack slots regardless of the backpack you're using, and an ultimate lets you craft the ultimate and better armor. That is amazing. Someone who not only can just help you store more loot, but can also get you your ultimate and higher armor as well. That's powerful. That's creative. We don't see a lot of creative legends around as often anymore, and I think that would be amazing. I really hope you guys agree with this choice. If you guys don't, then hey, that's common, that's normal. If you guys actually like to see someone like Nomad in the game, then just leave a comment down below. But I honestly want Respawn to make this character a real thing. They can change things up in the kit, especially if they think it's a little too OP or too underpowered. And I'd honestly like to see that. Plus, we don't have any other support characters in the game aside from Lifeline and Loba, so I would love to see this. I'm also going to be put the picture of this person's version of Scunner on the screen, so you guys can check out their kit. And in your opinion, you'll see, you guys can let me know in the comments if you agree with this pick as well. Alright, y'all, at number 9 we got Brigade. I actually really like Brigade as a concept character. I would honestly love to see him in the game. We have a plethora of assault characters. How we just got one this season. I'm honestly on the fence with this character, even though I like playing her. I hate her as a fucking character. But we could get another one next season. We don't really know how they intend to release Legends, and in my honest opinion, it doesn't matter so long as we get the characters that, you know, that we'd actually like to play as and like as a character. For me, it's always Crypto. I'm a Crypto main, true Crypto main. I love the character and I love the character's playstyle. I adapt with it a lot. This character was made by a user known as Dude with Name on Reddit. I don't really know if he's well known because I'm not a Reddit user myself, but I've seen his concepts and they're amazing. As well as the character designs, which I gravitate towards a lot. I really love the character designs in this game because it honestly reminds me of characters like Guy Manuel from Daft Punk, which is like on some sci-fi type of deal, and Elliot from Ring of Elysium, which is a skin. I still want to play that game, but there's a little controversial thing in his kit, and that is the flashbangs. Now, we all know about the Seer incident in Season 10 when he was released. He was extremely powerful on release. It doesn't matter what anyone says, he was extremely powerful. And if you disagree, you're all on crack. I'm just letting you know. His tack was extremely powerful. It was extremely powerful. It had the ability to damage opponents through walls, because if you had low health and you're trying to heal and shit, and he saw that you were, you know, healing on well, he can't really technically see it, but he could throw out a random ult and hit someone and down someone, boom. He could stop revives and heals, reveal enemy health and shields, temporarily stop your attack, which is very frustrating to deal with on launch. I don't actually know if he still does that, but because I haven't fought a lot of Seers, as of recently, but still. And it also flashed the screen. Now, personally, while the flash really was unneeded because he had so much to his tactical, the flash didn't bother me. The flash effect did not bother me. I didn't mind that. That shit lasted for like 1 whole second. So it wasn't really that much of a nuisance in my honest opinion. So if they want to add flashbangs to the game, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Aside from all the other people who actually wouldn't be okay with flashbangs and certain other things that are in other BRs added to Apex, I'd be completely up for it. This character is really cool, and not to mention, I also have to throw this in, he did actually change the kit. He actually changed the passive and the tactical, but I'm still all for the original. It doesn't matter what kit they decide to choose. I would love to see Brigade actually make it into the... I would actually love to see him shine in this game, because it would be an amazing thing. And if they wanted to put Brigade in the mobile version of Apex Legends, which by the way launched, by the way, I wouldn't be opposed to that either, because in my honest opinion, Apex Mobile seems more like a testing ground. You know, Respawn sees what the people like in that in Apex Mobile, and they decide on whether or not to put it in the official game for console or PC. And I wouldn't mind that if they were testing characters out. So I'd be all for that, no problem. Anyway, I would love to see this character in the game. And here is also an image of the before and after, not just with the character, but his kit in general. Because I also forgot to mention, he was a support character, but his kit, I don't really agree with his class with that kit. So I will now let you guys see him on screen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go straight into number 8, which is one of the custom characters that I made on my Twitter, and his name is Echo. Echo largely is inspired by Lucio from Overwatch, where his kit largely revolves around healing your team as well as music. The general appearance of his kit is known as music. I loved Lucio's backstory. I loved Lucio's kit, playing him, especially when I first jumped on Overwatch. I was already a fan of Lucio, but now that I got my hands on him, I would love to see more iterations of him and his kit brought into other games. And Apex would be absolutely perfect I made his passive a recycled passive that should have honestly been given to a new support character that should have gotten into the game already, but I digress. It is actually Lifeline's old passive where the healing items are of like 10 or 25% faster, but with a proximity added to it. So if you're in 10 meters within 10 meters, I meant to say, I was trying to say within 10 meters, I apologize. If you're within 10 meters of Echo, then you basically get that. And I had wanted the tactical to be more aligned with shields, because we haven't actually gotten a character who focused on shield healing. We've only gotten Lifeline's health healing and Loba's loot support type of deal, but that would be a really interesting thing. I would love to see Echo brought into the game, and I would really hope that they keep the appearance that I gave him, which is somewhat similar to Elliot, as I said, Elliot from Ring of Elysium, and Guy Manuel, who was the guy in the yellow helmet from the group Daft Punk. I would really hope they keep that appearance, because it's such a cool appearance, and it's a cool style as well. I would love to see them, and I wouldn't mind if they changed up the kit, because I'm not a professional game writer. I am not a balance guy. I just put down what's on my mind. So I wouldn't mind if they changed up his kit a little bit, but I do hope that they like what I did give him, in all honesty. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about Echo in the comments, especially if you check out my Twitter. And here's the image. And at number 7, we have Freestyle, another custom character that I had made on my Twitter. I really think Respawn missed their opportunity to make a unique and exciting character for Apex when they killed off Forge, and that is mainly what Freestyle is inspired by. I want to say his tactical and his ultimate are very reminiscent of Forge in some type of way, where it's like a lot of hand-to-hand combat. And a clear example of this kind of thing is Overwatch. You know, like, y'all know the characters, Brigade, Reinhardt, I want to say Genji, but that's also not true because he uses projectiles, he uses shurikens, but I mean, you guys kind of get what I'm talking about, because of his kit, because of his little sword dash, because of his ultimate. You guys know what I'm talking about. They have, like, it's not like they should have taken inspiration from these games, since they know how to make a melee character work in an FPS game. They have the resources to, and not to mention, they like to experiment anyway. Respawn likes to experiment and add different things into the game. It's exactly like them. Now, please don't get in the comments talking about these are two different games, don't compare them. I'm using the game as an example, first of all. I'm not comparing the two. Second of all, you don't know if a character like this would fit in the game or not, because it's never been tried. Not to mention, you gotta think about the new possibilities. All I'm saying is Freestyle could be a door opener when it comes to new legends and their abilities. So, Respawn, if you're watching, I hope you guys someday give that a try. But anyway, here's the images. And speaking of cyberpunk and futuristic sci-fi appearances, you know what's funny about this character that I'm about to mention, guys, is their kit might actually come to life. So you may not know this, but the new and recent legend leaks that have been appearing a couple months, well, that have appeared a couple months ago, I think. I don't really pay attention to the date. I just know that they're leaks that have arrived. I think they're telling us that Seer's old kit might just be arriving with this leaked legend, along with the new character whose name we've heard of before but haven't seen before. I actually haven't heard of this character's name before. I may be invested in Apex's lore, but I have never seen this character. I don't pay attention that. I clearly wasn't paying attention that much. I never saw this character's name ever brought up, so that's so that's on me. So, I guess you could say that this character is both a leaked legend and an original character that I made because I decided to revamp them. And I'm probably going to say that right again. I apologize if I say that again, but regardless. Up next is a character I'd absolutely love to see come into the games, and that is number 6, Prophet. Some of you who not only follow Apex news, but Apex leaks as well, might recognize that name because Prophet was originally known as Seer, or Scunner. This character's name was changed up a lot, but basically Prophet / Seer was originally known to be a sniper-based legend, and while I'm satisfied with the Seer that we got, his kit and his appearance, I would have loved to see this type of kit be brought into the games. So I revamped Prophet myself and added onto his original design. I wanted to improve my sniping on this game because sniping in this game is really fun. And doing so with a character that specializes in it and has an amazing appearance, I'm already invested, bro. It's why I play Crypto. I don't just love his kit. I love his whole shtick. I love his whole appearance. A character's design isn't always going to hinder me wanting to play as them, because I'll play as almost anyone in the game, except Horizon. But that's besides the point. This rumored legend may not look like how I envisioned them to be in the picture, but I'll still be satisfied with what this amazing ability kit has to offer. And I can't wait to see those two characters brought into the game, especially the sniper-based character. Number 5 is gonna go to Pariah. Now I'm already gonna get comments on my Twitter and YouTube talking about we don't need more wallhead characters, blah blah blah, and all that bullshit. Look. Alright, so first of all, no one was complaining about their scanning abilities until Fuse got a scan. It was all, which is still the dumbest fucking thing. How can you not see through the fire? How? Even I can see through the fire, which isn't really saying much, but regardless. Second of all, Ash's passive literally tracks your team. Valk's tracking ability isn't even a passive, it's built in. Guys, stop downplaying scanning abilities, alright? It's not a big deal, especially if you're extremely skilled at the game. Plus, while Pariah's passive is essentially built into Seer's tactical, I still think it would be a good idea for the character, since it was very difficult to tell who was low and who was fully healed, especially if you don't have a Seer on your team. And I gotta tell you, I'm about the only person who will play Seer in general. I also want to throw out real quick that Pariah is an originally leaked legend before Seer fully came into fruition. This was going to be their kit until, you know, they went back and the whole Prophet and Seer thing. But aside from that, also the electric smoke idea and sonar grenade is a good addition, as they are Titanfall abilities essentially, and I think fans would love them. As for Pariah's design, if Hawk, which is actually the leaked legend that I was talking about during Prophet's character introduction, if Hawk doesn't get the design that I picked out for them, then they should, or at the very least, have something very similar to a recon soldier, because that's what they remind me of. And I'll put some pictures out for you guys while you actually look at Pariah's original leaked kit. just as an example. So ladies and gentlemen, do you hate the bow? Me neither. Number 4 is another character that I made on Twitter, and he is named Cross. Cross will be the first character to specialize in bows and utilize the bow check weapon, just like how Maggie specializes in shotguns and Rampart specializes in LMGs. This character was pretty easy to make, as his ult takes a lot of inspiration from Sova from Valorant, where his ult can actually shoot through walls, and I think he can shoot only 3 arrows at a time. And his tact, while I hadn't realized it until now, is more so inspired from Shaolin for Paladins, where the shot can actually slow and or cripple the opponent. I'd really love to see that, and I'd really love to see Cross make it into the game, seeing as how he's such an easy-ass character. As for the backstory, that is all up to your imagination, but here's the pick. Alright, and at number 3 we have Conduit. Now his is actually going to be a little short. I don't have any pictures for him, nor could I actually think of anything for him, so unfortunately you guys will just be seeing his kit. But if you have a design that would best suit Conduit, then I'd love to see it, or I'd love to see the link to it in the comment section below, or something like that on my Twitter. But for Conduit, I thought a lot about my choices, and Conduit seemed like a very interesting and self-sacrificing character, which is something I would love to see in Apex. When it comes to most games I play where characters are split up into classes such as Recon and Support, Tank and Assault, I usually stick to Support. I love to be there for the team, which is why I love to play Recon characters in this game, because information gathering is important when you play them. Aside from Path and Valk, who are more like Assault Legends to me, we can talk about them when it comes to below. Aside from that, I love being support characters as well, and I want to provide my team some healing and or shields, and the over shielding legend would be a perfect addition to Apex. Please Respawn, give him a shot. I would love to see Conduit make it into the game in some way, shape, or form. Number 2 is gonna go to Bishop. Bishop is made from the lovely dude with name, you know, the same Reddit user. Bishop is apparently another Salvonian character, and to be honest, I don't mind that at all. I don't mind Salvonians joining the game. Like I said, I was on the fence when it came to Maggie, but I do love playing as her. And I don't mind her old shtick, even though I just, you know, I can get very irritated with her. And I also love Fuse on release. He was a really interesting character, and I still play as him to this day. He gives me the same vibes as Crypto gives me, where I like his entire shtick. I love the character, and I love his playstyle. So yeah, his kit essentially works like a backwards Valk kit, where his Missile Swarm is his ultimate, and the VTOL Jet is his tag. And I wouldn't mind that. They're not afraid to actually throw in certain mechanics like this, like how Ashe has essentially Wraith's phase, but she was originally the one to be able to do that. Well, we're not going to get into that. Where her kit actually has a phasing ability, but it is a one-way portal instead of you being able to transition back and forth through the portal. And I'd love to see that happen. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind doing that shit at all either. Valk was technically the last character to really show off a new type of movement ability, which is flying, and so I would be all for this. I would not be against this addition. Let me know what you think about Bishop in the comments below. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now before we get to the number 1 pick, well, like I said, this isn't really chosen by least wanted from most wanted, but before we get to the final pick, I would like to go with some honorable mentions that didn't make it on the list. While the likelihood of all these characters are extremely low for them to get in, I would love to see these characters added to the roster as well, because I mean, come on now, creativity is very vast, especially for developers like Respawn. They can choose to add any of these characters at any time, and I would love to see them give them a chance. So here are the honorable mentioned characters. And now we've reached number 1, and this will make all you Titanfall fans happy. I mean, come on now, like, the moment I mentioned Titanfall, you should already know who it is. Cuban Blisk. Now, I'm not gonna have this argument. I still don't think one of the characters should have wall running. I've seen a video concept of Blisk wall run passive where he had a meter, and when it ran out, he could no longer run. It'll be like Valk's jetpack, even though that's a perfect and smart balance. It just scares me to the fact that someone has a passive that outweighs literally any other legend in terms of movement, especially Pathfinder and Octane. I would prefer he gets his old leaked kit back, because that is a really wonderful ability kit that hasn't seen the light of day yet. And as for how I feel about Titans in the game, please keep them out. Like seriously, like, please. Maybe as a game mode, guys, but in the actual BR, no. I refuse to play Apex if Titans are brought into the game. There'd be no reason to even get out of it. Like, your abilities mean nothing when you're in a fucking mech. Like, even in Sentry mode, they'd still be powerful. It's like handing out 20 bomb badges to noobs. Now look, the concept is cool, but Apex's playstyle has already been made, and people are still playing the game because they enjoy it. Apex doesn't need Titans if this game gathers so many players on a regular basis. But aside from that, I still think that the Season 7 leak holds some credibility, since 3 characters from the leak made it in, and I technically could say 5, since Parai and Husaria are essentially Seer and Maggie, so yeah, 5. Blisk will someday come to Apex. The only question is when. And if you guys have seen the trailer for Apex Mobile, y'all should know that they might add him to the game. They might add him to Apex Mobile as a test. And if they do that before console and PC, I'm gonna feel some type of way. Alright guys, that is it for the list, the top 10 characters that I would love to see added to Apex Legends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you a lot for sticking to the end to even hear me ramble. I don't really got a lot to say. Stay tuned for the next few videos. I love Apex, and I only wish for this game to just continue to improve in terms of, you know, how the game handles, how the game runs, and of course the characters and maps as well. I'm always up for certain types of experimental things. Some of them are going to be good, some of them are going to be bad, but we can only, you know, just live to accept that. Anyway, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out. Oh, and don't forget to follow my Twitter so that you guys can actually see the Apex character concepts that I make. And if you guys would like to throw in your own opinions on them, please let me know. I would always like some feedback, because like I said, I may not be a game director or a character like balance guy, but I would still love to see what you guys would change and what you guys would keep when in terms of like the kit for the characters that I have. Anyway, for the umpteenth time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.